Alors, ce que je vais faire, c'est que je vais tester le son du live. Je le fais de temps en temps à certains lives. Donc, vous inquiétez pas, je vais juste couper un peu le micro et tester le son du live. Voilà, je vais voir si ça marche ou pas. Attention. Et ben voilà, je peux reprendre la partie. Je sais pas si c'est là où j'en étais, mais j'espère. Ok. Oui, nickel. Ah oui, c'est ça. Bah, la manette ne marche plus. Euh, Voilà, on va refaire, on va revenir au début. Voilà. Voilà. Non, étonnamment, pour ce jeu, je préfère la manette. Alors que d'habitude, je joue pas manette. Et là, je sais pas. J'avais dit quoi déjà? Par contre, pourquoi c'est écrit en anglais et
Don't you
pas
just
en...
love springtime?
J'avais dit quoi? Oui, le temple de... Je sais plus qui c'est, Déméter, hein. Le temple grec. Je sais même plus pourquoi on devait aller au temple grec. Si, en fait, voilà, il admet... ARB, c'est arme secondaire. Arme principale, RT. Attends, et L. LT, c'est courir. Et LB, c'est zoomer. Ok. Un principal RT, LT. Ok, alors attends. On va laisser courir. Arme principale, on va laisser RT. Arme secondaire, laisser RB. Voilà.
Ah, a visitor. Welcome, welcome. May I ask your name? It's a sincere pleasure to meet you. Tell me, what brings you all the way down here? Ah, Kabash. I know this man. He came through here some weeks ago. I will tell you everything I know, but first, a request. I have been living down here alone for many years, with nobody to talk to but myself. The one thing I long for above all else before I die is a good philosophical argument with somebody astute. I'm hoping that person is you. Let us find out with this simple question. Have you deduced the name of the god responsible for the Golden Rule? Excellent. I see you are indeed quite astute. Very few come to that realization before their time in the sun is over. Now, will you join me in a friendly Socratic dialogue? Wonderful. Then let me begin with a question. Would you say you know the difference between right and wrong? You are an overthinker too. We're the same then. It is probably why I became a philosopher. But if you struggle with right and wrong normally, then down here with the Golden Rule, surely your struggle can only have become more difficult. Well, that's reassuring. And the truth is, you're not alone. You see, out there in the world, being uncertain about right and wrong was acceptable because our mistakes rarely had consequences. So we would tell lies and bend rules and turn a blind eye and rationalize, and yet still find a way to think of ourselves as good people. But under the Golden Rule, morality matters. The slightest wrongdoing could result in a mass execution. So to navigate this maze, we would have to be certain about the difference between right and wrong. Wouldn't you agree? So let me ask you this. Is there one system of morality which is always perfectly correct, which you could follow in every situation and always do the right thing? Are you sure? Or is it possible that humans simply haven't figured out the right system yet? After hundreds of years, and as many great thinkers dedicating their lives to these questions, what hope do we have if our best and brightest haven't been able to answer them? My point is this. I don't think anyone alive truly knows any hard and fast rules about right and wrong. Surely you would agree there are circumstances where an exception may be made, such as where it is necessary for self-defense or to prevent a greater evil? For any rule, you can imagine there are countless situations in which that rule may be suspended, and those situations are impossible to codify. If there is one thing I have observed about rules, it is that virtuous people do not need them, and evil people will always find a way around them. And so we must accept our limitations, and the sad truth that no human society will ever achieve the utopia for which it strives. In mathematics, we would call it an asymptote, a line that can be approached but never reached. Because the only way to create a utopia is with the ever-present threat of force, such as the Golden Rule. This and no other is the root from which a tyrant springs when he first appears as a protector. And life under tyranny is no utopia at all. I'm glad to hear that. In any case, thank you for humoring an old man. I would be happy to answer your questions. You mean, how did I end up living alone in this cave with nothing but these relics of the past for company? It's a long story. I was a quarrelsome young man. At 19, I left Corinth for Rome to study rhetoric at one of her finest academies, so I could argue more forcefully. Back then, I used to enjoy verbally sparring with everyone I could, and I was good. One night I found myself in a tavern, in an argument with a drunk mercenary. It became heated, he drew a gladius, and I won the argument, but lost my life. I woke up on the banks of the Styx at a campfire opposite Karen. Of course, I tried to persuade her to let me return, but even with all my skill, I failed. I settled in, made friends, and learned what I could, quickly realizing our little community faced certain death under the Golden Rule. So I began looking for a place to hide underground. Fortunately, I found this place waiting for me. You see, I was not the first to take refuge here. I returned to my friends above, persuaded them to join me, and 12 of us descended for the last time to live out our days hidden from Hades' tyranny. I fear that if you were to utter my name in the city, even by mistake, that Hades would hear you and know I am still alive. They are one and the same. The Romans call him Pluto, but long before that, my people called him Hades. My generation was wiped out, turned to gold, many years ago. My friends and I were able to avoid the same fate by hiding down here. I think it's safest to assume that if I was to return, Hades would realize that his furies hadn't finished the job, and he'd send them after me again. I'm afraid I am the only one left. There were 12 of us in the beginning, but one by one, my friends passed away. Some from malnutrition, others from madness and despair. It has been lonely. Before my unexpected visit from Kabash some weeks ago, I'd not seen another person in many, many years. Living in darkness is not without its challenges. The first challenge is diet. Fortunately, I found that eating fresh fish provides most of the nutrients I need. And sometimes, when there are Greek people living up above, I surface at night and salvage the offerings they've left in the temple of Demeter. The greater challenge is the isolation. So I like to imagine arguments, where I argue both sides. But, like so many things in life, arguments are better with a partner. As you wish. I will tell you, but you may find him hostile. To prepare for your encounter, there are certain things you must know. Very few know this, but before the Romans came to this city, it was once entirely Greek, the architecture, the temples, and the people. When the Romans came, in typical fashion, they claimed it as their own, built over everything that could be built over, and renamed the things that could not. Thus, the shrine of Persephone became the shrine of Proserpina. And when they found an obelisk bearing the name Hades, they tore it off and replaced it with Pluto instead. And the city's dwindling Greek residents, witnessing this compulsive Roman conquest, decided to preserve what they could of their heritage. They gathered their art and valuables, secreted them away through the temple of Demeter, and hid them here, out of reach of the Romans. However, there was one thing that always seemed out of place to me, and it is the very thing you seek. An even older plaque bearing an Egyptian inscription. We had no idea until years later, when the first of my friends began to die. As a result of their deaths, we began to dig catacombs branching off from this cavern to lay them to rest. We extended the tunnel so far that we accidentally discovered another, an even older tunnel, which somebody had gone to great lengths to keep hidden. Suddenly it made sense why there was an out-of-place Egyptian plaque among our people's possessions. You see, we proud Greeks had thought the Romans beasts for stealing and corrupting our heritage. But it turns out this game has been going on much longer than any of us imagined. I think it is best you head through the catacombs and follow Kabash's trail. There are certain things you must see for yourself. Take this key. You'll need it to open the gate. Ha! If I did, would I be living like this? Did we not discuss it at length already? Oh, I see. You're toying with me. Ha! I enjoyed our chat, but please, keep my presence here a secret, yes? Ah, you've returned. Ah, you've returned.
Est-ce que ça se voit sur mon visage comme je suis pas serein? On est d'accord que ça c'est des outils modernes, hein. Ça n'a rien à voir avec, avec l'époque de l'art de l'antique, hein. Il y a carrément un canal, quoi. Ok, là il y a le bout du canal, il n'y a pas d'autre sortie d'ici, parce que c'est d'ici. Ok. Donc ce qui est en par là. Putain, voilà pourquoi je suis pas serein. Eh mais plus jamais, je vous jure. Non, non, c'est mort, moi je quitte cet endroit. J'ai ouvert, c'est bon.
Good to see you again, friend. Did you find what you need? I enjoyed our chat, but please, keep my presence here a secret, yes?
Putain, mais à chaque fois, je tombe là-dessus, quoi. J'en ai recul.
Harvey again. Did you find what you need? I don't, I'm afraid. It seems to me we're exiled here until the gods judge us, one way or another. I'm quite sure it's the work of the gods, which is strange because they've never been particularly concerned with our misdeeds, as long as we've kept the peace of the gods. We ask for blessings, for good health, bountiful harvest, military victory, and in return, we offer praise, wine, incense, or animals. But here, it seems they require much more of us. I find myself reminded of an especially pertinent tale from our great poet Ovid in his epic Metamorphoses. Would you like to hear it? It is rather long. I suppose so. Jupiter and Mercury put a town to the test by disguising themselves as vagrants and asking for shelter there. Everyone turned them away and failed that test, except for an old couple named Baucis and Philemon, and so the gods gave them time to escape and granted them a wish, and then wiped that town off the map. Some say the moral of that story is that we must all honor the sacred rituals of guest friendship, the reciprocal obligations owed between hosts and guests. But I like to think it's that we should always show compassion for those less fortunate than ourselves. A cynic philosopher might take that view, but it's not entirely invalid, I suppose. See you again soon, I hope.
Ave.
Aujourd'hui, mon terme m'a suggéré d'écrire un journal pour m'occuper, le temps de faire face à la disparition soudaine et bouleversante de ma sœur. En tant que fille obéissante, je vais m'exécuter. Les pages qui suivent renferment mes secrets les plus intimes. Je sais que vous me lisez, père. Ma jeunesse n'est pas synonyme de crédulité, tout le monde a le droit à ses secrets. Comment dire, chef.
Ugh, I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians in here. What do you want? I'm Sentia, eldest daughter of the magistrate. But you'd know that if you'd been invited in here and introduced properly. What are you doing in here? And why are you dressed like that? Really? I'd never have noticed, what with your flawless accent, appropriate attire, and impressive mastery of our customs. Now, remind me, why are we having this conversation? You know, some people say it's the creation of an all-seeing God who's watching everything we do. But what kind of an awful, incompetent god would let my sister go missing on his or her watch. Did you hear that? Curse you, you coward! Where is my sister? What do you have to say for yourself? No response. Nothing. That's what I thought.
Là, celle-là.
I'm telling you, this mysterious god of ours has to be asleep on the job. Either that, or, like people are saying, it really is just a children's fable my father is exploiting to frighten us into behaving. I suppose we will. I trust you can see yourself out.
Par contre, t'es dans la chambre de ta sœur, Thomas.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name? We have? Wait, if I understand correctly, someone is about to break the golden rule. For I must have entrusted you with figuring out who the culprit is. Is that about right? If so... I see. Look, it's unfortunate, but all that matters now is that you make use of what you've learned and gathered. And now, I assume you've sought me out again for a reason? You mean Duilius? Releasing him is out of the question, I'm afraid. That man is a liability we simply cannot afford. Perhaps you're not aware he was caught multiple times, sneaking around in places he should not have been. Look, I can see where you're going with this. You think me cruel. I assure you that is not the case. You may not be aware of this, but it was not so long ago, during the Republic, the law of the 12 Tables would have required that he be killed as soon as he was born, owing to his deformities. Here we see to it that he has food, water, and shelter, and, most importantly, he is able to continue living. A privilege that would be taken away from all of us, were he to be released and commit the crime of trespass. The man has no self-discipline, poor comprehension of what is going on around him, and is an incorrigible rule-breaker. I will not jeopardize the lives of my people so that one man can go free. Now, was there something else? Ask then. Good. Now, was there something else you wanted to discuss? Sextus Sentius Imperiosus is my name, though magistrate is the proper way to address me. Before I wound up here, I was a decurion in the cavalry of Imperial Rome, helping protect civilization from the barbarian. I was elected 7 months ago, uncontested because of my command experience. Since then, there's been growing agitation for another election. They're supposed to be annual, but I agreed to hold it sooner, hoping it would placate my constituents. Unfortunately, it just seems to have emboldened certain elements instead. My men and I were at the Emporium in Rome as honor guard for a visiting dignitary arriving upriver by barge. Now, the port is usually bustling, but just as our guests arrived, waves of people began running toward the river from streets and alleyways in every direction. They were trying to escape a terrible fire. Unfortunately, the crowd sent my horse into a panic, and I remember it losing its footing by the water's edge. The next thing I knew, I was waking up on a riverbank not far from here in the company of some stranger. I went looking for my horse and discovered that lonely temple. You can probably figure out the rest. It's a cavalry officer. I had 30 men under my command. This was my uniform. As magistrate, I usually wear a toga, but today I may need to survive long enough to create the portal for you, so it seemed prudent. Very well. Thank you. I'll be waiting here for news.
On va faire un acide pour Galerius. C'est pas dire c'est pas lui. Où est-ce que je peux trouver Galerius maintenant?
Oh, the moon.
Isn't the great temple majestic?
Welcome back. Well, Malleolus is talking about loosening some of the restrictions in this place. And while it's all a bit vague, at least he has a vision. My vote isn't for sale, if that's what you're asking. Nice to talk to you.
Greetings and salutations.
Ah non. Je veux pas avoir ça, je veux pas avoir ça. Les zombies là, non merci.
Citizens, we have a quorate body of voters gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus Sentius Imperiosus and Marcus Malleolus Gurges. As agreed, we shall dispense with ballots and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Sendius.
Dacius.
Malleolus.
Galerius.
I abstain. I'm just here to observe.
Virgil.
Malleolus.
Rufius.
Malleolus.
And finally, Domitius?
Malleolus? Who else?
Citizens, you have made your decision. Your new magistrate is Marcus Malleolus Gurges.
Hail, Magistrate Malleolus. I said, hail, Magistrate Malleolus. That's more like it.
Thank you. Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. Under my leadership, you will finally enjoy the freedom you deserve. No more shall you walk on eggshells, fearing simply to live and breathe, because the tyrant Sentius told you it was forbidden. For my first act as magistrate, I hereby announce a day of celebration to mark the end of an era. The myth of the Golden Rule is no more.
The Golden Rule is real, you idiot.
For his attempt to deceive us all, Sentius is hereby found guilty of treason against the Empire.
What? I have committed no crimes. This is madness.
His sentence: to fight for his life in gladiatorial combat against Domitius. Here and now for your entertainment.
You have no idea what you're doing. You're going to get us all killed.
Wait, I exercise my right as a Vestal priestess to pardon him. I will not allow you to do this.
You're showing your true colors now, priestess. Your corruption sickens me. Domitius, ignore her. Proceed.
This is insanity. You'll doom us all.
Lies! It is time the Golden Rule was exposed for what it is. A children's fable, exploited by a treacherous leader to instill fear in all of us.
This is why he's in his gladiator gear. They've been planning this all along.
Shut up, all of you. The magistrate has spoken. I'm going to enjoy killing you, old man.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Therefore, death is not...
watching us all along!
C'est le même effet que ça devrait être. Ouais, c'est le toujours. On va la regarder.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and what you're doing with that bow on your back? Oh, it sounds serious. I'm listening. Yulia? Oh no. All right, I can do that. All right, let me see. Stop Fabia going in, but send the new arrival to the empty shrine. Understood. I'll go, but once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
Ok, cool. suis à 1100.
Salve, friend. I'm Octavia. Welcome to life under the Golden Rule. It's a ghastly thing, isn't it? All right, well, it was...
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh, no. No. No, 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 no. Ulpius, what are you doing? Get back from there. If you lose your balance, you'll fall.
That's the idea.
What? Why? Why would you want that?
Why do you think I'm stuck for the rest of my life working for a man who treats me like an animal?
I know things are hard for you right now. They're hard for all of us. We're all in this together, Ulpius. Please, please just think this through. If you do this, it could be the sin that seals all of our fates. Is that what you want?
I'm sorry, but I just don't care anymore.
Please, Ulpius. Help him. If he goes through with it, it could be the end for us all. I don't know what to do. I've never had to deal with this sort of thing. Please, you need to talk to him. Thank you.
You know about that? How is that possible? I mean, I've never mentioned it to anyone. Well, if you say so. You don't understand. I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want it all to be over. It's too late for that. Yulia and I made a pact, and she's already swallowed hemlock this morning. If I backed out now, I'd be betraying her. I can't do that. Oh, really? That changes things a little. But we're still in debt bondage to that monster. Unless you happen to have 2,000 denarii to pay off both of our debts. No. No. I am out. Wherever you are, Scintilla, my love. I'm sorry.
Ulpius, no!
En fait, il faut que j'arrive à trouver où est Scintilla.
I can't believe he went... I'll have to let everyone know what happened. And I'd best pray for poor...
Là, c'est bien, il faut la plaque.
Salve, friend.
Isn't the great temple majestic?
Ah merde, elle est là, madame. Je peux pas la voler alors qu'elle est chez elle. Un ami anonyme d'Octavia, que le Seigneur vous garde et vous bénisse. Je regrette de ne pas avoir pu prendre le risque de parler de ceci avec vous en personne. Et si j'ai raison, alors vous êtes une croyante comme moi, vous ne pouvez peut-être pas pratiquer parfois entre nous aussi. Mais sachez que vous n'êtes pas seul. Si vous avez un jour besoin d'un endroit où prier, un lieu spécial vous attend au fond des grottes, derrière le théâtre. Tournez à droite au premier embranchement, puis à nouveau. Puis à nouveau au deuxième. Ah ok.
A new face. Ave, and may Vesta watch over you. I'm Equitia. To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit? I beg your pardon? Oh my, that is quite a lot to take in. You'll have to give me a moment. Let's see. If that is indeed the case, I suppose we'd better figure out what to do. We don't have much to go on, except the old stories. Hercules, the demigod. Hercules was able to... Sisyphus and finally, Aeneas was able to escape with the help. So it seems you have two options. To confront the god of the underworld head-on, or find a... May Fortuna guide you.
Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. Yes. Thank you. I'm delighted and deeply honored to be elected your magistrate. And now, I make this.
You're not supposed to be in here. Talk. What business could you possibly have with me? My marital affairs are no concern of yours. Thank you very much. An intriguing proposition. Go on. Perhaps you're not as silly as those clothes make you look. What makes you say that? You know, I may have the very thing you're looking for. Some time ago, when he still cared for me, he wrote me a love letter. Only, he used the wrong name. Now, addressing one's wife by the wrong name is not unheard of among philandering Romans. But in this case, the name he got wrong was his own. I confronted him about it, and he stammered through some incoherent response. I let it go, eventually, and yet questions have lingered in the back of my mind ever since. But Wait a minute. Why exactly are you helping me? To withdraw? Listen, I may not be Penelope to his Ulysses, but to ruin his plans to become a magistrate? You must think me quite mad. I've heard enough. Get out of here at once.
Demetrius, come quickly. We're being robbed.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
En fait, on est trop loin. En fait, faut que je continue à prendre petit à petit. Il reste encore 500 deniers à prendre.
Thank you. Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. Magistrate. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. I'm delighted and deeply honored. And now, And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. Under my leadership, you will finally enjoy the freedom you deserve. And
Il reste 385 deniers à prendre.
You're not supposed to be in here. Talk. What business could you possibly have with me? My marital affairs are no concern of yours. Thank you very much. An intriguing proposition. Go on. Perhaps you're not as silly as those clothes make you look. What makes you say that? You know, I may have the very thing you're looking for. Some time ago, when he still cared for me, he wrote me a love letter. Only, he used the wrong name. Now, addressing one's wife by the wrong name is not unheard of among philandering Romans. But in this case, the name he got wrong was his own. I confronted him about it, and he stammered through some incoherent response. I let it go, eventually, and yet questions have lingered in the back of my mind ever since. But wait a minute. Why exactly are you helping me? Oh, aren't you charming? I'm quite sure my husband would seethe with impotent rage if he overheard you say that. I love it. It seems our interests are aligned. I imagine knowing his true identity will give me the leverage I need to manage him appropriately. But first, I need you to do something for me. I want you to bring me some wine. Just one small urn should do it. Oh, don't look at me like that. I know this must be hard for you to wrap your sweet little pleb head around. So what do you need me to spell out? So you'll help me? Thank you. Here's the letter. Now, perhaps you can tell me who Quinctius really is. What? He's... Oh no. That's... quite a lot more serious than I imagined. I only wanted some leverage over him, not to destroy him. Give me that immediately. Nobody else must know. What? No. You tricked me, you mendacious little stirkers. It was a lie of a mission. You were planning this all along and you deliberately concealed it. May Jupiter cut you down. I curse you. I curse your life and mind and memory. May you be unable to walk or eat or drink. May this drag you to the depths. This is outrageous.
Je vais le détruire, je vais juste qu'il se retire tout.
Domitius doesn't usually let anyone in here without a hefty tribute, so you must have been desperate to see me. Well, what do you want? Are you insane? You barge into my villa, uninvited, and then make outrageous demands? Why would I withdraw from an election? So... It finally caught up with me. I suppose that makes you... what? One of Nero's assassins? So... you're not going to kill me? Oh, so much work and money. Oh, well, if I do it, you'd let me live? Fine. Ruling this cesspit of a city would have been beneath me anyway. I'll have Domitius notify the priestess of my withdrawal and release those two from debt bondage. There. You got what you wanted. Now, please, leave my villa and never speak to me again. Domitius, are you listening?
Yes, sir.
I've made a decision to release Julia and Ulpius and withdraw from the election. I want you to go and inform Equitia.
Sir? Are you under duress?
You there.
I'm sorry to trouble you, but I couldn't help but notice that, in fact, you've given me a thing, but make no mistake, Mike. Now, so, are you sure?
Hello? Hello? Have we... My friend Hannibal used to look after me. He said, if anything ever happened, he gave me this key and made me... All I remember is he said, now nobody looks after me. Bye-bye. Hello?
Salve again, friend. I went and did as you asked, and it worked. How is it possible that you've just... You're toying with me. You're a bit like... Sisyphus. Yeah. Sisyphus was a Greek king a long time ago. He was forcing him to... Actually, now that Tantalus was... Oh, and... Anyway, I don't know which god you managed to upset to get yourself into this position, friend, but you seem all right to me. So, I'll tell you what. I'll keep doing whatever I can to help you. And you just focus on finding a way to break the cycle you're in. Anytime, friend. Now, I'm going to keep your secret. Although, it's not as if I'll remember this next time we talk anyway, right? Oh, and if our conversations ever start to annoy you, just tell me you're busy. Salve again, my Sisyphean friend. Now, what's on your mind? I can't see how I could vote for either candidate. I don't like Sentius much, but Malleolus is almost as bad. Even I could do a better job. Me, a farmer. And I've never given a speech or put on a toga in my life. How did you know I wanted that flower? Did we talk about it in a previous time loop? You know what? It doesn't matter. What I really want to do is walk up to her, give her the flower, and confess I've been madly in love with her since the moment we met. But on the other hand, I can't shake the feeling that the consequences could be... terrible. You mean, aside from her execution? You see, Equitia is a Vestal priestess, meaning she's taken a vow of chastity, the breaking of which would be an extremely serious affront to the gods and a capital offense. Even if she was just suspected of being unchaste, it could lead to her execution. Unchaste Vestals get buried alive. Oh, and I'd get flogged to death for good measure. But at the same time, she's just so kind and graceful, and I feel so much love for her that if I don't tell her, it'll burn a hole in my chest. I don't know what to do. What do you think? What would you do? Now that I hear you say that out loud, I hear how... What I need is a go-between. Someone who can tell her how I... What do you say? Do you think you could help me one more time? Wonderful! Now, all I need you to do is give her the flower and tell her it's from a secret admirer. Tell her I'll keep my distance. Thank you. Salve again, my Sisyphean friend. Now. I can't see how I could... Even I could... I've bounced the idea around once or twice, mainly as a way of getting Dooley set free. God knows Sentius is never gonna... But from what I hear, Malleolus has the election stitched up. Nobody's gonna take him on and win. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. I mean, he talks... He did? Oh, that was unexpected. I wonder what could have possessed him to do that. Well, I'll let Equitia know I'll be running. All right, friend. Hope you find a way...
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Alors, dans l'ordre. On voit Galerius, on lui demande de gérer pour Fabia et Mondia. Ensuite, on va voir Malleolus, on le fait se Ensuite, on remonte voir Alpius, on lui explique que c'est terminé. Et on aura fait aucun souci.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and what you're doing with that bow on your back? Oh, it sounds serious. I'm listening. All right, let me see. Stop Fabia going in, but... Yulia? I'll go, but once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
On your best behavior, I trust?
Thank you. Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. Magistrate. Yes, yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I'm delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. And now... and now... I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens.
Oi! How did you get in there, you cheeky little stirkers? If I come with you
no time to explain. I'm supposed to give you this Sylvian present for Yulia.
You there. I'm sorry to trouble you. In fact, you've given Ben for making no better mind. Now, Now, I've gone and unlocked the shrine. It's just at the end of...
Salve again, friend. I went and did... How is it possible that you're a... Sisyphus was a... He was forcing him... Actually, Tantalus... Oh.
Ça, on l'a déjà...
Anyway, I don't know which god you managed to upset to get... So... Oh. Now, I'm going to keep your secret. Oh, and if our conversations ever...
Domitius doesn't use... Ha! What? I... So much work for nothing. Ugh. Fine. I'll have Domitius there.
Peut-être une bêtise.
Domitius, are you listening?
Yes, sir.
I've made a decision to withdraw from the election. I want you to go and inform Equitia.
Sir? Are you under duress, sir?
I've just had a change of heart.
But you were on track to be magistrate, sir. All that work, all that money, wasted.
Those are my orders. Carry them out.
As you wish, sir. Priestess, Malleolus has decided to withdraw.
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind. Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
Leave me be. Leave me. You fool.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
They're alive.
En fait, il faut absolument que je repasse par là où je l'avais. C'est-à-dire qu'il abandonne aussi Ulpius. Avant que je vende Ulpius, il faut qu'il l'abandonne aussi. Donc...
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and why you look like you've just taken on a gladiator and lost? Oh, sounds serious. Yulia? Oh, no. All right, let me see. What? Are you... You're serious, aren't you? I doubt Domitius will let me talk to him, but I'll make sure he passes on the message. I'll go, but once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
Voir si ça change quelque chose là.
I hope you're taking care of yourself.
Une nouvelle pièce. Alors j'explore un peu ici. C'est ça la citerne supérieure? Oh putain.
Salve, friend. I'm Octavia. Welcome to life under the Golden Rule.
Yulia! I'm so glad you didn't go through with it.
It wasn't for lack of trying. And now Malleolus is going to... Wait. Why
Welcome.
do you look so happy?
We're free. Malleolus just released us and we never have to set foot in that villa again.
What? How?
Galerius arranged it somehow.
Really? That's... incredible. Oh, what a relief. I don't know what to say.
You don't need to say anything. Just rest up, get your strength back, and we'll celebrate properly when you're ready.
I will. Thank you, Ulpius. I will.
Welcome.
Don't believe a word they tell you.
Bon, bah ça c'est fait, c'est réussi. Maintenant, forcer Galerius à se présenter et aller voir Oppius pour
Welcome.
plus sur Ah d'accord, ils sont tous partis quoi, ils sont tous barrés.
Welcome.
You there. In fact, you've given me... Then you enter the for making that... Where Mike... Now. So,
Citizens, I have an announcement.
now I've gone and... It's just that...
Has withdrawn his candidacy from today's election. Unless any new challengers are nominated by nightfall, Sentius will be re-elected magistrate by default.
Actually, I'd like to nominate myself, if that's all right.
Of course, Galerius, that's your right. Citizens, the election will proceed.
Salve again, friend. I went and did as you asked, and it worked. How is it possible that you've just arrived here and you already know everyone and exactly what's about to happen to them? You're toying. You're a Sisyphus. Sisyphus, he was forcing... Tantalus was... Oh. Anyway, I don't know which god you managed to upset, so I'll oh, and... Oh, that's kind of you to say. Now, I'm going to keep your secret. Although, it's not... Oh, and if our conversations ever start to annoy... Salve again, my Sisyphean... Now. Well, it's a long... I'm a father. One day, my father, but my mother, more raid. One night, I got my... But my... Yeah, and for... I spent... Tried to... Everybody... I got the next thing... That's... See, until... Even... So... For doing... Thanks, friend. I knew I liked you. Anyway. All right, friend. Hope you find...
Shalom, friend. Scintilla and I were in love. And then, 22 days ago, she went missing. All right. One night a few months ago, when I was cleaning Malleolus's villa, I heard a young woman singing. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever heard. I wasn't allowed out, so once everyone else was asleep, I climbed up the inside of the villa and onto the roof, just to see where that sound was coming from. And that's when I saw her. Standing in the garden of the magistrate's villa, I just sat there on the roof, listening to her with my chin on my knees. And for the first time in a long time, I felt hopeful. And then she looked up and saw me and she smiled. I knew at that moment the fates had brought me to her. And from the moment she asked my name with this warmth and curiosity, I knew I'd have done anything for her. And so for weeks on end, each night I'd climb out of the villa and into her father's garden. We'd hold hands and talk about all the things we'd do once we got out of here. Like having our own vineyard. And then one morning I woke up and everyone was out searching for her. They said she'd vanished in the night. All I could do was keep my head down and try to hide how beside myself I was. All I know is she loved me. And if she had known a way out, she would have told me. She'd never have taken her own life. And there's no way anybody could have killed her under the Golden Rule. I can't prove it, but I just know she's still alive somehow. Even now, it's as if I can hear her voice in my head, crying out to me. That can only mean one thing. Somebody abducted her. I have no idea how, or who would want to do something like that to such a sweet, lovely girl. But what else could have happened? My guess? Malleolus had something to do with it. He is without doubt the most evil man I have ever known. I have no idea where he'd be keeping her, but there is one room in his villa, upstairs, which is always locked. I've never seen the inside of it, and I haven't been able to steal a key without breaking the Golden Rule. But I have a feeling that if you could get in there somehow, it would shed light on a great many things. Really? I was sure he was hiding something in there. I feel like I've looked everywhere. At least everywhere I could get to. There are still two places I've never been able to reach. First, the palace. If Navia managed to get in, then I suppose Scintilla could have too. The only other place she could be is somewhere in the cistern network. I remember hearing that Dooley had been poking around in the upper cistern before he was locked up. So you could ask him about it, I suppose. All right, friend. Thanks for the chat.
Just as the ocean but it... Say it. Then... I thought I had he gives...
Alors, c'est des conversations qu'on a déjà eues, hein.
I will do... There is the the one as the there the bloodless others. I hope I have... And now we share...
C'est pour voir s'il y avait des nouveaux... Non, bah, il n'y avait pas de nouveaux. Bon, je vais être obligé, je vais finir par être obligé d'aller dans ce putain de temple. Hein. J'ai 36 flèches, un arc de réfactice, deux arcs en bois.
A new face, are they? It must be complete. It'll be, but why do you ask? As I said, I'm planning to hold it before dusk, but I
Keep an eye
suppose
out
I
for
could
Scintilla,
hold
would you?
it sooner, if there's a good reason. Yes. I have overheard some rather unpleasant arguments. The last thing we need here is additional conflict. Very well. I'll get things started right away.
Bon, bah au moins ça c'est fait.
Citizens, it is time. Let us meet to elect our magistrate.
Election starting.
qui sont pas venus.
Citizens, we have a quorate body of voters gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus Sentius Imperiosus and late nominee Gallus Galerius Helva. Marcus Malleolus Gurges withdrew his candidacy earlier today. As agreed, we shall dispense with ballots and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Galerius. He saved the life of my dear friend Fabia.
Dacius.
Sentius.
Virgil.
Cynthius.
Ulpius.
Galerius, the man who saved my life.
Rufius.
Malleolus.
Citizens, you have made your decision. Sextus Sentius Imperiosus.
My fellow citizens, you've placed your trust in me once again, and you won't regret it. I vow that each day henceforth will be just like this one, and I will deliver.
You and your rival, whatever your name is, you're responsible for this, aren't you? Nobody likes caput murdae foreigners interfering in an election.
Shut up and let the magistrate speak.
Malleolus is gonna be magistrate by the end of the day.
You have no idea what you're doing. You're going to get us all killed.
Just stay out of our way, and we won't have a problem.
Wait, I will not allow you to do this.
You're showing your true colors now, priestess. Your corruption sickens me. Domitius, ignore her. Proceed.
This is insanity. You'll doom us all.
Lies! It is time the Golden Rule was exposed for what it is, a children's fable, exploited by a treacherous leader to instill fear in all of us.
The Golden Rule is real, you idiot.
Shut up, all of you. The magistrate has spoken. I'm going to enjoy killing you, old man.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Must either not come at all, or else must come and pass away.
That's how they turn you to gold!
Putain. J'y arrive pas. Je sais pas quoi faire là. Là ils sont tous... Il n'y en a aucun qui veut me parler de... Je sais pas. Vous arrivez à faire Galerius pas du tout. Bon, tu sais quoi je déco, et je vais changer de jeu et je reviens. Parce que, voilà, donc j'arrête le streaming et je reviendrai en stream après. Je prends une petite pause de 10-15 minutes. Voilà, voilà.